All right, welcome, everybody. Welcome to MindShift Monday. I am so grateful to be here today. Um, let's go ahead and get into this. Welcome to MindShift Monday. If you're looking at this on YouTube, you're on the replay with Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Welcome to MindShift Monday. I am your host. All right, Allison Scott LJ. All right. And Mindship Monday, we exercise everything else. So why not exercise the way that we think and see things? Okay. Today's show is brought to you by leadingwhilelearning.com. You never know who you will inspire. All right. So, you know, let's get into this today. I'm feeling good about what we're talking about today. And this is just a snippet. Okay? This is just a snippet of things, right? Of course, there's always so much going on in the world. So we're gonna dive on in. Now today we're talking about why mind shifting is necessary. Okay? Some solar plexus tips, because if you haven't noticed, um, I am advocating more on in this quarter of the show, in this season of the show, right now, for us to just be more aware of our solar plexus. Because guess what? That's what I'm doing. I'm becoming more aware of it as well. And so, me doing Mindshift Monday is not just me coming on here talking and telling you things. It's also a way to empower you to do your own research, right? Come back here, learn some more, and yeah, be empowered, be charged up, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. So that way you can, again, do exactly what we're doing, which is see things and think about things from a higher perspective. All right. So today's show is relevant to a few things. I wanted to introduce the reason for Mindshift Monday so that if you're new to the show or explore new paths in life or ways of thinking and learning practical ways to shift your consciousness, or just dropping in because you found me online, then welcome. Okay. Whether you follow me or you saw it somewhere on the social medias, right? Then again, welcome. Okay. This requires a new way of being. Okay. While we still are able to embrace all the ancient techniques, right? We're not going to forget anything just because we're thinking and seeing things differently, right? We're going to actually fully embody these things so we can take it with us throughout our day, be more observant, okay? And literally just bring forth and birth a new us for this new world that we're in, because we're just getting a snippet of what we're coming into. And I want to make sure that if you're listening to Mindshift Monday, if you're following me, if we're working together, if anything, all of the above, then you are fully aware, right? And empowered to, again, birth a new you know, a new space, a new place on this earth, in this universe. Okay. So today, also, Mindshift Monday, along with the shifting and thinking about things differently, it's also, again, a way for you to be empowered, right? But it's also when we're shifting our consciousness, like, what does that really look look like? Does that mean that, oh, I'm just gonna shift? And like a lot of people here shift and they like, we shift every day. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we do. We do. The world shifts, the earth shifts every day. You can be in a house and it's shifting, and you would never know it until you see some type of residue or some gravel or a new line in your driveway, right? Trees shift, okay? Nature shifts. We're on an earth that shifts. So it's only relevant that we shift our minds, that we know that it's happening, right? Because even when it's happening in nature, it's happening within us. When it's happening in the universe, it's happening within us. Our cells shift, our muscles shift. We shift when we're driving. Okay. And if you don't like stick shifts, then it's okay. But if you like to go fast or slow down, whatever, you like to be in control a little bit, then learn how to drive a stick. Okay. And it don't have to be an everyday car, but it's a good thing to learn, right? So at least if you hop in any car or someone has an emergency, guess what? You're going to learn today. Okay. So with that, I just wanted to make sure that we understand, what the shifting is really about. It's our whole connection with everything, okay? Because we are electric and we are solar powered beings and we are emanating this. And so when things happen outside of us in nature, in the universe, in the cosmos, with the sun, with solar flares, I know everybody is caught up in the planets and all of everything, the moon, the waves, the water. Okay, these things are happening to us, within us as well. So the more we are aware of this, the more we can actually pay attention to ourselves. We can get to know ourselves a lot more. Okay, we can heal ourselves a lot better, right? We don't have to be so dependent on the system. Okay, and we can improve. We can improve life, period, right? And of course, it takes time. So be patient with yourself as you go through the process of learning new things, because how else do we evolve? Like, we have to learn something, okay? You have to learn something new. You have to learn something that'll challenge you, that'll stretch you, that'll make you, actually do something different, okay? So that's what Mind Shift Monday is about. That's what mind shifting is about. That's what shifting your consciousness is about. And there's more to it, but I'm gonna leave it right there. So that way, at least you can, right? You're aware. And now if there's anything that piques your interest, you can do your own research after the show, come back for more, go from there. All right. So just to go ahead and get into a few things, we are also talking about the solar plexus, as I stated. So at this time, we are having so much solar energy always entering our planet. I think during COVID and the pandemic, right? Solar energy was at an all-time high. Okay. And of course, if you go back in any of the previous episodes, I break this down, even with facts, with references on why this connection is there, like how all of this was interlinked. All right. And there's probably plenty more research as well. So I'm always going to empower you to do your own research. All right. That's my favorite Dior. So again, at this time, we have so much solar energy always entering our planet. And I always want to give insights about the body. So also health, emotional intelligence, and the likes. So today I have a few reminders about the solar plexus that you can take with you and either do more research or just be aware of what it is, how it affects us in our daily living. All right, so the solar plexus, if it's harmonized and balanced, which is a good thing, okay? When you're in harmony, right? You vibing. You're in a balanced situation with yourself, with your body, with your mind, with your soul. Everything is in harmony. You're feeling good. You are assertive. You are capable. You are confident. You are decisive. You are responsible. Okay? We are assertive, capable, confident, decisive, and responsible. Right? So how does that sound to you? That sounds about right? That's how you want to be able to, problem solve, figure something out. These are things that we need on a daily basis when we're just maneuvering through, interacting with people, in relationships, in workships, with your coworkers or with your customers, clients. whatever you call, your specific people in your community. Okay. These are specific things that we look for when we're making moves, in a sense. All right. So, an underactive, deficient solar plexus is insecure, negative self image, timid, ashamed, lacking courage, and passive aggressive. Now, I know y'all see that in a lot of things you do, right? Whether it's on the movie, whether it's on TV, whether it's at work, whether it's with people you know, whether it's even with yourself, right? Some of these things we have seen in ourselves, okay? So it's never, and I want to get clear on this. As much as we're always speaking about what other people are doing, right? We're always focusing on what they are doing. But we also have to make sure that we understand that obviously there must be something that we're doing too, okay? That is bringing this up for us, if for any of these keywords that make you feel this way, it's not necessarily because a person is making you feel this way, right? It's something that's in you that needs to, come on up, get a little harmony, get it balanced. So how you have to figure out how to do that, right? So that you're not underactive, right? That's even dealing with thyroid issues as well. Okay, so the solar plexus, right? It also has an underactivity. It has an overactivity. Okay, when the solar plexus is overactive, it's aggressive, it's angry, it's rageful, right? It's controlling, it's dominating, it's manipulative. All right. And I know we see this. We see this. It's always common in relationships. And since this is October, it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Okay. So all of these things are also there as well, right? Reflecting in this, right? And these physical symptoms and these emotional symptoms that are literally radiating from our body, right? Radiating from a system in our body. This is not just a play thing. I know when people hear people talk about chakras and energy centers, they think it's just some unseen, unknown, another realm of, cartoon character, Goku type. Like they just think it's just, they just think it's something fanatical, like just out there. And it's not. Like, and that's why I love the solar plexus, but it's also but they have the heart, and you have the throat, right? You have the root, you have the sacral. All of these things, all of this energy emanates from spaces and places within us on a physical level, right? It's just that once it actually becomes physical, a physical symptom, okay, that's when we are being alerted, right? Mostly through our emotions is when we're being prompted, hey, there might be something wrong. There might be something, through your thoughts, through the things that, you can't touch, but you feel it. Okay. But here, right, the physical symptoms that you can watch out for are dealing with pancreas and gallbladder issues, digestive issues, digestive system disorders, and fatigue. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that, that we are always aware of how these things reflect in our life, how they reflect in our world, and what we can do to, once we're aware of it, make one step to bring ourselves into harmony, to bring ourselves into a sort of balance, right? Because now people are saying, hey, there is no such thing as being in balance, right? But you can find balance within yourself. You can find balance in the things you do. You just have to enjoy what you're doing, right? And sometimes you're not going to enjoy what you're doing. So then you go do something that you will enjoy, reward yourself. Like I say, risk reward. You have to find a way to, give yourself the balance, right? Reward yourself the balance because it's needed. All right. So imagine and know that it's a fact. The sun is solar and we are solar beings and we need a charge. Okay. And this is also getting into the next phase of the sun and human health, right? But we're still on the solar plexus. So we need a charge. We get a boost from being in the sunlight, which explains vitamin D and a few other things. And we also send signals out. We pulse through our thoughts and radiate vibrations and frequencies through our actions and words, okay? And through our thoughts. So the solar plexus energy, even though it is also a part of the body within the sympathetic nervous system, it's literally a complex of radiating nerves found in the pit of the stomach. You know how you get that little nervous feeling like, ooh, ooh, that little feeling in your stomach, right? Like that's a part of your solar plexus. So what's really going on there? What kind of signal were you receiving or sending out, right? And then imagine that it's a part of the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, sympathetic. When you're sympathetic, what does that mean? Okay, and let me pull that up for you guys once because I just want to make sure that we on the same page. Sympathetic, right? Feeling, showing, or expressing sympathy. But we gotta go further than that. Like my teacher said, like you don't want to explain it with the word, So attracting the liking of others, right? Sympathetic, sympathy, right? But what does sympathy usually mean? Having pity, consoling, right? Pleasant, friendly. It's a few other things. Agreeable, okay? Designed in a sensitive or fitting way, all right? So the main thing what I'm getting to is imagine that you have a sympathetic, we actually do. We have a sympathetic nervous system, right? So if that's the case, now let's go ahead and circle into it. Now, looking at the defining words that describe a harmonized solar plexus, an underactive solar plexus, and an overactive solar plexus, we can also see how our will, okay, our will to do something, our ambition, our, again, decisiveness, right? Our assertiveness, okay, our confidence can be used against us to possibly radiate outcomes or emotions that have been projected onto us. This happens in the media with the news headlines and narratives. So these are things we can take into consideration when directing our energy and our charging energy from our body, our mind into the events that are playing out in front of us, whether it's something that's going on at work or whether it's something going on the world stage, right? There's always something going on the world stage, okay? So having the gall, right? Having the ability to discern and have discretion in how we radiate that solar energy from our body is very important. All right. So I just wanted to make sure again that we have this insight. So as we continue moving forward, creating a new world, birthing a new us, birthing a new world, bringing the things into this world that truly need to be here, right? Purposefully and intentionally, that we're also aware of our whole experience from the inside out. All right, because everything reflects. Okay. So also in current events, just to review, the past episode on 9/11 dealt with the natural disasters that were in the Middle East and North Africa and how they all lined up with Israel. Or as one of my teachers online, Robert X, says, is it real? Okay. And that's a shout out to Truth to Power. Okay, so this does not take away from the fact that lives are at stake. But we must know as well that when people and institutions are running programs, the same ones that have been running forever, okay, the same ones that have been running through generations, all right, when these people and institutions are running programs to stay in control, they will do anything. This is nothing new. So make sure you check out that last episode. I actually literally go into detail of just showing how from Hawaii and then from Morocco, Libya, a few other, I think it was one other place that had a red wine spill. And then, but before that even happened, I just literally showed how the earth, the whole lineup was literally right in alignment with Israel. And so I wasn't sure what the turnout was going to be, but now we know. Okay. So, as we pay attention to things, don't just, look at something that's being presented to you and just take it for what it is. Just really feel into it. This is the reason why we have to pay attention to nature. What is the earth really doing? If we are literally going into a new earth frequency, like we're literally there right now, but there's an old world and there's a new world, right? That we're on the brink of a new horizon. That doesn't mean it's not going to come with some riffraff. That doesn't mean it's not going to come with some 112s or whatever you want to call it. But we are also preparing ourselves, like we're built for this in a way. That's what we're here for. That's what generations usually go through, right? Each generation has their thing that they shift into so that the next generation can be better or well off. Now, of course, if you feel like, hey, I'm not here for all of that, I'm about to go go into the mountains, I'm about to go off grid. Yes, you can do all of those things. Heck, you can even go live alone, right? And never be heard of again, but there's still work to do, right? So like I always like to say, you can take time, you can take as much time as you need, but also make sure you take action no matter what, especially if it's dealing with your own goals, your own dreams, the things that the visions, the mission that you're here to fulfill, right? Your purpose, your destiny, okay? All right, so make sure you check out that last episode so that way, we can read into the facts as well. And also this past week, there were reports coming out to confirm the effects of the solar flares in human health. Okay. There were an increased report of cardiac and chest pains from people not really knowing what's going on with their body. And of course, like I mentioned before, when the sun and its solar flares affect human health. This is something that we know. There are even fireballs that literally come close to the earth every day. Every day, right? It emanates from what they call space weather, which is the true weather to me. Because by the time we actually receive the energy that's coming in for the fact that the Earth's magnetic field is weakening, by the time that energy actually comes through the field, You don't know what hit you. I remember maybe about 2 weeks ago, I felt like I just was like, if depending on the state of your body, depending on the state of how you're taking care of yourself, right? And even mentally and emotionally, okay? And how you see things and how you think about things, right? Um, you could think that you're dying. You could think that you have COVID. You could think that you have some type of cold. You could think that your body is going to tell you what's going on. It's going to tell you what it needs, right? I'm not in no way saying don't go to a doctor. Find you the exact person that's right for you and your health, okay? The right facility, the right people, okay? And make sure they have God's hands, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. But overall, there is an impact from the solar flares from the sun and the human body, okay? So, and a lot of this was happening during the pandemic, but who is going to really tell you that? Who's going to really say, hey, I just want to let you know the reason why we're going to be 6 feet apart is because everybody's changing energetically, and we want to make sure that you're just not energetically infecting the next person. We don't know how your body is going to respond to this solar impulse and influx of energy that's coming in right now. And we also need to do a few upgrades on we upgrading into a new earth. We need to make sure we get ahead of y'all and make sure we lay down the new data center pipelines, bridges, all these different things. Because if you notice, all the work was happening during the pandemic. Every city was doing major road work construction in some type of way. They were still building, okay? There was not a pause. It was only a pause on people going and coming as they please. And it was a needed pause, of course. I always like to say, if everything just stopped, right? If none of this was going on, if the internet went out right now, what would you be doing? Okay. And that one thing that you possibly would be doing outside of like trying to connect with people, trying to, go ahead and establish, your connections and your network so that you can have some food, water, shelter, whatever it is, getting to the core of it, what will we be doing? Okay. And also, don't use that as a scare tactic for why you shouldn't embrace the changes, right? I was reminded the other day of, being in the presence of the older generation, like baby boomers, okay? And even the generations before them. And how I had a 70-year-old teacher, probably 70, a little bit more older. And he reminded me in 2011 to stop double working, like writing and typing into the computer. Okay. Writing and typing into the computer. Now, this doesn't mean don't write on paper. It doesn't mean don't use your pencil. Don't do any of those things. It doesn't mean that at all. What I'm saying is that in order for him to have known that, he's had to have already seen how evolution works when it comes down to technology, okay? He saw them writing on paper before there were computers. He saw a typewriter before there was a screen. And now there's a screen and a keyboard, okay? And immediately for him to progress in his work, because as much as we can say all of these things are happening in the world, whether it's a conspiracy or not, regardless, we still have things to do. You still have to submit your bills. Like, you still have to do certain things until you learn other ways to, create your own or find a way through the system in some type of way. I don't know. Everybody has a pathway. But what I'm saying is we're all responsible and accountable for what we have to do, and we have to embrace the changes. Don't get left back because you don't want to embrace the changes necessarily. Now you can, at least know how to type. Okay, at least know how to point a mouse. At least know how to point a mouse. Okay, if you can do those things, then you can still have the ability to do more. Okay, so I applaud everybody that's improving and just creating some type of way for themselves. And more than anything, I'm not so gung ho on technology to the point where I'm not balanced in the harmony of knowing that there's work to do with the earth as well. We need more skilled people, that can till the earth, that can help heal the earth, right? That can actually produce fruits, that can produce different types of plants and agriculture. Okay, like we need more people that are enmeshed in the soil, the roots, right? Really taking time to build things, more carpenters, more plumbers, right? More people that are hands-on. Those are skills that we're still going to need no matter whether it's AI or not. Okay, so again, shout out to everybody that is just working on some type of way to improve yourself. Okay, because we are in the age of art. Okay, so a lot of what we're going to be seeing, a lot of people a lot of works that we're going to be seeing are going to be expressions of people being their authentic selves. So, you can decide on how you want to show up in the world, or you're already doing it. It doesn't even have to be in the world. Purposely and intentionally, how are you showing up amongst people that don't know, when you're walking down the street, when you're in a meeting, when you are going out, whatever the case may be, your interactions, your daily interactions, how are you showing up and how are you being your authentic self? Or are you being your authentic self? And if not, what can you do to tap in? All right. So I'm going from there. And you can also reference what is space weather and why is it important to us episode. That was also a MindShift Monday episode earlier this year. It was a great episode. I had a lot of references and resources that you can look into, just in case you want to do your own research. All right. So the last thing is, this past week, I noticed and saw that the Catholic Church, or just in general, were celebrating the St. Francis of Assisi. I think it's called a Mass or Moss, where basically they were blessing the animals and the pets, of the world, right? So, blessing the animals that are outside, blessing people were bringing in their own animals to be blessed, right? And of course, I'm definitely here for blessing the animals because they bless us every day when they get out here and do their work faithfully, right? Nobody has to tell them to get up. Like, they get up like clockwork. Matter of fact, they tell me to get up every morning. I have a nice little chipmunk chipping at me in some type of way, saying, "Hey, you still ain't up." So, or either I might be up before them and they just give me a little chirp just to say, "Hey, all right, cool." But you can also tell when the seasons are changing, when things are happening based off of how animals move. Okay. So, I see that as a blessing, but as we're also blessing nature and the animals, we also want to make sure that we are blessing the world. Okay. And we don't want to bless the world. You don't want to bless the world with fear. You don't want to bless the world with anxiety. You don't want to bless the world with anything that deals with the emotional distresses of daily living in an anxious world, right? So I wanted to share the Make Me an Instrument of Your Peace prayer by St. Francis. So that way, more people are aware of it, and you can use this within your daily living or just in general, something you can just meditate on or really just think about, you know. So the way it goes is, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, let me sow pardon. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. Where there is despair, let me sow hope. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. And where there is sadness, let me sow joy. O divine master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Amen. All right. So, with that, we're going to end this show. You can pull that prayer up anywhere and, do some research on St. Francis. Yeah, you should enjoy that. And again, this is MindShift Monday. I'm so glad to be here with you all. I'm so glad you made it. If you were able to catch this after the show, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all right, or even through some clips across social media, then thank you so much for being here. And I am out of here. All right, this is MindShift Monday. And we exercise everything else. Why not exercise the way that we think and see things? Until next time, I will see you all later. Peace.